Hey everyone, Michelle Markey with Medina Domestic Art Studio, and today I am in class down here in the Rio Grande Valley, and I am going to have one of my students, Deb, here demonstrate how to put on a DTF onto a denim shirt. Now I'm going to walk her through the process, and she's going to actually hopefully get a successful DTF onto the back of her shirt. So the very first thing I ended up doing was I have a heat press here. This is a Cricut knockoff, and as you can see, I've set the timer for 3:30 with 25 seconds. So the very first thing Deb is going to do is she's going to put her shirt down on the table, and since it's a bit wrinkly, I'm going to have her get it as flat as possible. I'm going to first have her take the heat press, and we're going to try to get out as many of the wrinkles as possible. So just grab that heat press.
Let's go
Okay,
up more.
yep, just there you go. Grab the heat press and just treat it like a big gigantic iron. And let's try to get all the wrinkles out as best as possible. Okay, this is necessary so that when she goes to put her DTF on, that she doesn't have any wrinkles causing it to bubble or for the ink to not adhere to the fabric. Okay, that looks great. Now the next thing we're going to do is she's going to pull back her label and trying to figure out exactly where the center is. And on this particular denim shirt, it's this label right here. So go ahead and pull your DTF out of the bag.
This is what I'm using.
Yes, and Deb has chosen the cowboy boots with flowers, which is a very popular pattern stitched out, but now we're starting to do them on DTFs. In fact, it turns out that one of the ladies here in class, you can see her way over there in the corner. She's diligently, there she is. Cheryl's waving. She's working on hers right now. We'll take a look at hers in a minute. So we want to go ahead and center it as best as possible down on the denim shirt. I'd say bring it up maybe a little bit further. When it's best to, I'm going to walk around and look at Deb's shoulder blades. She's going to want to put this shirt roughly in the center of her shoulder blades, kind of a little bit above her bra, but below where a yoke is. So she's got a yoke on this one. You definitely do not want to put it all the way up there. So we have about, I'd say 2 to 3 inches, which is good. So now the next thing that she needs to do is cover it with parchment paper. I like to use parchment paper because you can still see your design underneath the paper, and so you know that you're not moving it around. Now the next step she's going to do is grab the heat press, and you're going to start at the top, and you're going to push down as hard as you can, and then we're going to set the timer. Now, she's putting pressure on this because what we want to see is that the glue from the DTF actually becomes absorbed into the denim, and then the ink goes along with it. If she were to just leave the heat press on top of it, it may not put enough pressure down in order for the adhesive to actually stick to the denim. Okay, now you'll move over to the next side. Same thing, hit that little R button right there. That's 25 seconds. Now, I like to stress that I have tested this countless times, and I found that 330 Fahrenheit with 25 seconds works the best with DTFs. You may see other videos that tell you otherwise. I'm just here to tell you that everything we did today was successfully peeled with a 330 degree temperature and a 25 second. Now move down. Actually, let's bring it a little further down. I like to overlap, making sure that the center is in the pattern is in the center of the heat press. See, Deb's doing a great job. You got some good strength, good strength going on here. Okay, just let it count down. Now the hard part comes next, and the hard part is basically waiting until this cools long enough before we do our peel. So okay, now she's going to lift it, and we're going to put the heat press back, and I take a peek at this real quick. Look to see it looks real flat. Now I'm going to ask Deb to bring that back and kind of iron over it just a little bit more. This is my little insurance step. I like to do this just to kind of make sure that, and you just iron it back and forth. There you go, with good pressing, and go all over the pattern. And we're just making sure that any ink that isn't completely adhered gets a little extra boost. Okay, that should do it. Now I'm going to pause the video and we'll come back and take a look at what happens when this cools. Now the key here is to making sure that the feel of the DTF underneath the paper, that this is completely cool to the touch. So we need to give that about 5 minutes and then we'll come off and watch Deb do a successful peel. Okay, so now what we have is we have moved it over to a cooler spot and we're going to touch this, and of course you can't see this through the video, but it is completely cool to the touch. And what I'm going to have Deb do is slowly, I'm going to let her take over, start peeling this away. Okay, yeah, you hold the hand down and very slowly lift. If at any point in time we see the ink stay, I would immediately have her put this down and go through the same process again. But this looks like she did a very successful peel. Now, you may feel it catch a little bit, that's okay. But you also see how slowly she's doing it. This is really necessary for a good peel, because at any point in time, if you ripped it off too fast, you might rip the ink off and there's no way of going back and putting it down once you have ripped it away. So this is working out great. Look at this peel.
Oh,
wonderful peel
can't
going on.
wait to start it.
Yep, there we go. Sometimes you need a little bit of pressure to pull the shirt away from the peel. Yeah, catching just a bit, but I can tell it's good. And honestly, anyone who's watching this, once you do this once, you get it. It's not that hard.
Voila.
Voila, look at that, a great peel. Now, I'm going to have Deb bring the shirt back over to the heat press. She is going to cover it with the parchment paper. Make sure it's all nice and flat. You always need to do a second press in order to make sure the ink is thoroughly attached to the denim once the plastic is off. So you'll repeat the same process again. You'll just iron it really good, just like like you did the second time. Now the good thing about heat press is that you can get a large coverage on the surface. That's not to say that you can't do this with an iron, but they really are better. It's better to put them on with a heat press. The heat press has a more stable heat element in it, and it's across the board, it's just easier. So that's the 25 seconds. You lift, and let's just take this off, and I'm gonna have Deb run her hand over it. Now it's hot, but I just kind of feel it and make sure you don't feel any bubbles.
Well, no bubbles.
No bubbles, and now Deb is ready to color this. So there you are, everyone. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below in the comments section. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Deb, you want to say?
Thanks for watching.
There you go. Now this is the coda to that video, which is to show you what the boot looks like getting painted. This was Cheryl's choice today, and she's in the process of putting a second coat of paint over the boot itself. Now what we ended up using today were actually acrylic markers and fabric medium and some fabric paint. Once she has completed doing the coloring, we'll take it over to the heat press and we'll heat set the color so then she can wash her shirt. Now, if she wants to later on and add some hot fix rhinestones, she could do that as well. So as you can see, that's the whole process. That's really easy. So throw some paint down there and let's show everybody how easy that is to do, Cheryl. So that's literally all you do. You just apply it on. Now notice that there's some paint a bit on the black outlines. What she can do is come along with her black marker and go over that once she has finished putting the paint down. Well, again, I hope everybody enjoys watching these videos. Again, comments below, and thanks so much for watching. Say thanks, Cheryl.
Bye.